Hey, it's Bruno Turner, and I'm here in Milan, and this is Juri Orsi of a independentist party for Lombardy, pro-Lombardia Indipendenza. Hi, Juri. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's a beautiful day for us, for the Catalan people, I guess.
And who's organizing this?
We are organizing as a movement in favor of independence of Lombardy, but we have decided to keep this demonstration without a political mark. So every committee or organization or association can be involved. There are several people that are here as individuals, so only as supporters of independence of Catalonia and of democracy.
So, do you support independence for Scotland and Lombardy, and is it about the free determination of peoples? Is that the concept behind independence?
Absolutely, yes. We are in favor, basically, of every struggle for independence or for self-determination in Europe, and we think that the future of Europe will be to be a continent, a free confederation of free peoples that can self-determinate themselves. So Lombardy, Scotland, Veneto, South Tyrol, every people, especially people that have their own culture or their own nationalities, must have the right to self-determinate.
Right, and what do you think about the European Union and the political situation? As regards the European Union, there's this push to create a Europe like a United States of Europe. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think that it should be more of a regional union, and should it be a political union, first of all?
Well, we think that the future of Europe will be to be a united confederation, a confederation of free entities, free states. So the idea of the United States of Europe is not bad. What is not working is the idea that our governments are trying to implement to create this union. So just get rid of democracy, get rid of the rights of peoples, and only try to force the governments to unite by only governmental issues or governmental decisions. We think that a confederation in Europe will be implemented only with the democracy, with the possibility to the free peoples of Europe to decide to join that union and maybe to withdraw from that.
Right. So there should be a vote first of all, because we didn't have a vote to enter the European Union, for example. In Italy, the constitution does not permit to vote on international deals. So Italians never voted on entering the European Union, for example.
Yeah, exactly. We think that the behavior that the European Union is holding in the last weeks regarding the Catalan issues could be probably the end of a dream to create a confederation or to create a real democratic Europe. So this kind of European Union is not representing the democratic rights of people. It's just representing the interests of the governments, of the trusts, of whose interest to keep at any cost the status quo. We are not interested in that. We are interested in democracy and in the future of Europe, not in keeping this insufficient present.
Right, so let's talk about Lombardy for a moment, since you're obviously from Lombardy, right? From Milan. So why do you want independence for Lombardy? Is it both a cultural and an economic issue? Is it a democratic issue? Do you think that smaller governments, are you for federalism? Is that a better way of having a governmental system, having smaller governments that are closer to the people? Or is it also an economic issue? What are your thoughts on that?
Basically, all the argumentation you have just said. So it's a cultural thing, is an economic thing, but it's pretty much a political everyone. So we think that the future for Lombardy will not be to be just a suburb of a national state that is not working anymore, probably has never worked in the last 150 years, but will be the future of Lombardy will be to be the center, one of the most important centers in Europe, as an independent entity, an independent state, if you want to use that term, that label. But yes, we think that as independent, Lombardy will be able to be richer, with a better political system, with the possibility to protect its whole culture and to open that culture and that social system to the world, not just to close up into ourselves.
Right, because one of the things many people say about independentist movement, it's well, why do you want to close yourself off from the international scene? Is it all about, you know, erecting a border and we want to keep everyone out, and anybody that's not Lombard, we don't want him? Is that the issue, or is that just a caricature of your position?
Absolutely not. Lombardy has always been a land of welcoming the possibility to become a member of the citizenships and so on. So Milan has always been a city where people can become a member of the social group of the city, just with its work, its will to create its own future. So we are not ethno-nationalists or something like that, and we think that only if you want to do it just, you know, as a play or just a kid, you can talk about ethno-nationalism right now in Europe. We think that as in Catalonia, the future of our community will be to rediscover our cultural heritage, but without any attempt to create ethnicity or to clean our ethnicity from migrations or from people from all over the world. We have to connect with the new Lombards and to make them really Lombard in the next years.
Right. So it's about creating an independent state, and of course, once it's independent, what I always say is that there's still going to be democracy. So the political system will change because, of course, the population is different. In Lombardy, we have different political ideas and all that, but essentially, it's still going to be a Western country with all the usual traits of a Western country, right?
So probably in independent Lombardy, new parties will be born, right party, left party, in favor of welfare state or not, and the new citizens of a Lombard Republic will decide which kind of government they prefer, which kind of form of a state they prefer. So as should be in any democratic country, as even if it's just a model, we can say, because at least in Italy, that kind of political debate is not working anymore.
Right. So, if I understand correctly, there's the Tea Party Italy that's also joined in this.
Yes.
And there's going to be Marco Bassani. He's a libertarian figure. So, what is your relationship with libertarianism?
Well, I can define myself as a classical liberal, so this is my position, not the position of my party, but just as an individual position. I think that a bit of a state is necessary to provide some Lockean necessity, so security or right of life, of liberty, and so on, and to provide an insurance, a guarantee of a free market that could actually work. But I think that the less we use a welfare state, the better will be for our economic system. But it's just my position. So we are not in favor of a particular model of state for Lombardy, just a democratic, a direct democratic state, a federal one. Then if the Lombards will be in favor of a much welfare state, they will be able to vote in favor of a party that is in favor of that kind of system, and that system could be implemented.
All right. So the music is starting to get loud. Thank you, Juri, for this interview. And
for the interview.
No problem. And good luck with your movement.